What's up, you freaking geniuses? So in this video, I'm going to teach you how to evaluate cofunctions, all right? So here are the equations written up here, and the pairs are a little bit different from what you might be thinking. So remember, the way you pair up reciprocal functions are sine and cosecant, cosine and secant, and tangent and cotangent, right? Those are the more common reciprocal pairs. But for cofunctions, it's a little bit different. So you pair up sine and cosine, you pair up tangent with cotangent, so that one's still the same, and secant with cosecant. Okay, so we apply these functions when we're talking about complementary angles, all right? So remember, complementary angles are two angles that add up to 90 degrees. So for instance, if I had the sine of 30 degrees, this would be equal to the cosine of 60 degrees, right? So like we said, the pair of sine would be cosine, and the complement of 30 is 60, right? Because 30 plus 60 is 90. So that means these two are equal to each other, okay? Same thing over here. We have the cosine of 30 degrees. So if we wanted to find the cofunction, again, we know the pair would be sine, right? Cosine and sine are matched up. And again, the complement of 30 is 60. So that means the cosine of 30 degrees is equal to the sine of 60 degrees. And then over here, we have the tangent of 60 degrees. So the cofunction would be equal to the cotangent of 30 degrees. And over here, the cotangent of 60 degrees would be equal to the tangent of 30 degrees. Okay, so as you can see, we were able to find the cofunction, right? However, we can obviously simplify this further, right? So what is, first of all, the cosine of 60? Well, I've given you basically two free pieces of information right here. I wrote that the sine of 60 degrees is equal to root 3 over 2, and the cosine of 60 degrees is equal to 1/2, right? So here, since we found the cosine of 60, well, that's already given here, so we know it's equal to 1/2, right? So this is equal to 1/2. Now what about over here? Yes, we did find the cofunction, but what is it equal to? Well, the sine of 60, as you can see, it's written up here. It's equal to root 3 over 2, right? Now here, we don't have any information given about tangent or cotangent, right? So how could we solve what this is equal to? Well, one really important trig identity that you want to remember that correlates, or relates, I should say, sine, cosine, and tangent, is that tangent is equal to sine over cosine. Okay, so that would mean that, again, what we're looking for, the tangent of 60 degrees is equal to the sine of 60 degrees over the cosine of 60 degrees. And luckily, we know what these two are equal to, right? Because that's given. So let's scroll down just a little bit. So here we can say that, let's write it out here a little bit to give ourselves some room. The tangent of 60 is equal to the sine of 60, which is root 3 over 2, divided by, right, over the cosine of 60. Cosine of 60, again, is 1/2. All right, now in order to divide fractions, you can multiply by the reciprocal, right? So that means this whole thing is equal to, first of all, the first fraction on top stays the same. So we're just going to leave that as the root 3 over 2. And then this time we're going to multiply by the bottom fraction, but we're going to flip it. So here we'll have 2 over 1. All right, so now as you can see, we have a 2 on the top and bottom, so those cancel out. So now if we just multiply straight across, we'll get root 3 over 1, or simply root 3. All right, so that's what the tangent of 60 degrees is equal to. That's also what the cotangent of 30 degrees is equal to, root 3. All right, now let's clear some room for the last one. Boom. All right. Now the last one over here that we're looking for is the cotangent of 60 degrees. All right, so like we said, tangent and cotangent are cofunctions. However, like I said at the very beginning, these are also reciprocal functions. All right, so that means whatever tangent is equal to, cotangent is going to be equal to the same thing. It's just going to be flipped. All right, so here, for our problem, we got that the tangent of 60 degrees was equal to root 3. Or we could say root 3 over 1, right? So let's say that, since we know we're going to have to flip something. So we know the tangent of 60 degrees, right? We got that it's equal to root 3 over 1. So that means the cotangent of 60 degrees is going to be equal to the same thing, but again, it's just going to be flipped. So it's going to be equal to 1 over root 3. All right. Now, the only problem here is we can't have a radical in the denominator. So in order to get rid of that, we need to multiply by this radical on the top and on the bottom. All right. So now if we multiply straight across, on top we'll get 1 times root 3, which is equal to just root 3. And on the bottom, root 3 times root 3 is equal to simply 3. All right. So then that is our final answer. Boom. So if you found the video helpful, make sure to leave a thumbs up down below. And if you have any questions, let me know in the comments section below.